Hi there, replay viewers. You're here with Samantha Brown, and today, hopefully, if we can get this to work, I'm going to be joined by Samuel Leeds, who is a truly, truly lovely person, and he's also an entrepreneur, a property investor. He was financially free by the age of 21, and he has done some amazing things, and so he's going to share with us today how he got to where he is, and also give you some tips on how you can do the same. Now, I've had some problems so far. It is 10 minutes over the scheduled time of when we were due to go live. I've been trying to find Sam to actually add him in to the video here with me. For those of you who don't do Facebook Lives, then you will have no idea the complexities of every time that Facebook changes how its systems, its things work. You then have to retrain yourself on how to do everything. So adding people in can become tricky, shall we say the least. But I'm waiting for Sam to join us so that I can add him in to this, so that you don't just have my face, but you have Sam here as well. So while we're waiting, tell me where you're watching from, tell me what you're doing today, and if you have any questions for Sam, then write them in the comments box below, and I will ask him your questions, and you'll get a shout out while we are live on air here. And that also means that all of the replay viewers get to hear from you and hear your question and the answers to your questions too. So it's not just about the people that are watching right now, it's all about you guys watching later on. And a top tip, a social media tip for you actually, is that if you go and comment on the videos of people who do get a lot of reach, and other people see those comments, which they will when they're watching, they're going to come up, then you can increase your reach too. So I strongly, strongly, strongly advise actually commenting on videos that you see. If you think they're of interest, if you think they're useful, comment on them, because everybody else watching is going to get to see you. And they will connect with you as well. So I commented on a video yesterday of another guy, and I had 3 friend requests just from commenting on one video. And these are people who are actually like pretty good in their game too. So not just kind of random people. There are other people who have quite big followings themselves. I made a comment, it's obviously useful to them, and they have then gone on and sent me a friend request and reached out to me as well through direct messenger. So anyway, back to the point. I'm waiting for Sam to come online. If he doesn't, then you're just going to get me, and I'll give you a quick Q&A session. If you're friends with Sam Leeds on Facebook, can you PM him or something now? I've just tried calling him. We were due to go on at 1:30. My scheduled, so Facebook give you this feature where you can schedule a Facebook Live. The stream key and my lovely software did not seem to want to work together. So Sam has not been able to join on that. So I thought I'd just do a standard Facebook Live and get Sam to join in. However, I am waiting for him to start watching so that I can invite him in. So if you've never done a Facebook Live, or never done a Facebook Live with somebody else, my top tip to you is test it before you get going. Test it before you're due to do something big. I've actually emailed 400 people on my email subscriber list telling them about my live today. So the fact that I'm just here on my own at the moment, you could say it makes me look silly, or you could say, hey, you know what, I put myself out there and tried something different. So if you are doing Facebook Lives with somebody else, they need to be watching. So always make sure that they are around before you start your video. So I'm waiting for Samuel Leeds to join us. And I still don't have him yet. So while I am waiting, tell me where you're from. Tell me what you're doing right now. If you've got any questions, either questions for me or questions for Samuel Leeds, then ask them now. Oh my God, I've just seen a like from him, which means he must be here. Yeah! Okay, Sam, I'm going to invite you in. So hold on. And I shall invite you to join. Make sure, Samuel Leeds, that your phone is landscape, as we discovered yesterday. So give me a second. Let me see if I can find you. I've got my live viewers, but it's not giving me you. Hold on. This is not, why is it not doing that? Is your phone landscape? Samuel Leeds, is your phone landscape? Tell me it's landscape, and then it should allow me to invite you in. I've only got one person I can invite in at the moment. Tim, if you want to join us. I know you're here. Let's see what's happening. Samuel Leeds, are you landscape? Why can I not add you in? I love technology. It's amazing. It's wonderful. This is proving to be quite challenging today. Let's see. Okay, so now you're back on, which means perhaps your signal went. So where... There you are. Right, okay. Oh, why can't you join? Oh, no. It says you can't join at the moment. That's a bit awkward. Let's try again. What are you watching on, Samuel Leeds? Why can I not join you in? I can see you on my screen. For everybody watching, this is really, really frustrating. So right now, if you haven't done a Facebook Live... Well, if you haven't done a Facebook Live ever, where are you? Where have you been? But if you haven't done one with somebody else to join you, what you can do, you're on your Mac, maybe you're going to have to be on your phone. Can you try watching on your phone, Samuel? And we'll see what happens there. So for everybody else watching, my tip to you here about using Facebook Live is if you swipe right, from the right to the left, on your mobile device, then what you can do is you can see people who are watching live, and if they have like a little green circle on them, you can actually invite them to join you so that they'll be on the screen with you, which is what Samuel Leeds and myself, Samantha Brown, are trying to do right now. Very frustrating for everybody watching, frustrating for Mr. Leeds, frustrating for Miss Brown here too. So Sam is now watching on his iPhone. Okay. I still only have you on... Oh, no. Ah, right, 2 seconds. Are you ready, people? Are you ready? This is going to be amazing. Let's see. We'll accept Mr. Leeds. Dum, 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 dum. This is exciting. My good friend, Samuel Leeds, is coming on very shortly. Thank you so much for bearing with me. Once Sam gets talking, I am going to share this about, but if you want to help me, then you can share this video right now on your personal newsfeed. There's a little button down here somewhere from where you're watching, and you can share this with the people that you know, and perhaps they'll get some use from it too. And if you don't want to, you don't want to, but if you want to help, then you can. So, how strange. It says the guest declines the live video invitation. Now everyone wants to be live. Okay, let's try again. Dum, dum, dum. Make sure you also turn off your notifications before you start doing a live.
Boom!
Hey!
Oh man, so sorry about that. I've been like frantically trying to be added on. I know what the problem was now though, so the lesson of the day. I'm on my iPhone, but I've got it locked so I can't rotate the screen. And as soon as I undid that, it worked.
Yes.
Really odd.
Yes. There are so many tips actually I have of things that you need to do before you go live, like turn off the rotation lock. Go landscape if you're doing it with someone else. Turn off notifications so you don't get phone calls mid-live, because it totally cuts out the stream if you've ever done that.
Oh, sorry, I also was phoning you as well. So anyway, we're here. We're going to make it awesome for the 7 die-hard property fans that are on. And now
I've tried going live like 3 times now. I think everybody else has given up. But I'll tell you what I'm going to do. So I'm going to let you introduce yourself, Sam. And then, can I ask a question? Do you prefer Sam or Samuel?
Samuel, because you know why? Samuel means ears that hear God. And the Yule bit means God, and Sam just means ear.
Okay, that's really interesting. So Samantha in Aramaic means listener. So obviously they're closely connected.
Well, there we go.
So Samuel, what I will do is I'll allow you to introduce yourself to my audience, maybe give us a kind of a quick history, and then what I'm going to do is while you're doing that, I'm going to share this all over the place, and then I will start asking you some questions from the audience.
Sounds good to me. I'll give a bit of a lowdown then. So thank you guys for tuning in. My name is Samuel Leeds, and a bit of a background on me. My background is property, so I've got 4 property businesses. I've got a property. See you, Samantha, listener. I've got property. I've got 4 property businesses. One is a property investment business where I buy and rent out houses. So I've got houses all up and down the country. And I bought my first house at 18. 19, I bought 6 more, and by the age of 21, I had a £1 million property portfolio, which enabled me to effectively, if I'd have wanted to, retire, which is kind of crazy at 21. But that's where we go. So I get asked all the time to share my story, teach people about property. So one of my other companies is a hi Craig Webb, good to have you on the call. One of my other companies is a property training company where I teach people how to invest well in property. And we do events in Manchester, London, Birmingham, and that's really fun. Then I've got a construction company, again in property, and lastly a property sourcing business. So last year we did 136 deals. I've written a book which is a bestseller on Amazon, and I've been on TV a few times. Samantha Brown has just read the book, and if she enjoyed it, then that means I definitely must have done something right in the book. So yeah, that's a bit of background about me and my mission. What I want to do kind of this year. I've just had a baby with my wife Amanda, so she's called Ruby, which is really nice, spending time at home. So my mission is to just be a great dad, but it's also to inspire and equip people to become financially free by investing in property. Really passionate about property, and really passionate about people. So that is a little bit of a load on me. Mark Evans has just said, read it last week. Awesome. So thank you, Mark Evans. Appreciate that. We've sold 42,500 copies just in the last 13 months. So it really has done really well. So Mark, you were one of the buyers. So thanks for your comment. So yeah, that's me.
Cool. So it sounds like you've done a lot.
And right now, I'll give you a tiny little tour of some of our offices. So this is where I work from. We've got Tanya. She's one of my property deal sourcers. Russell, he's a partner in the business. We've got some guys. Here are some of my books.
Some guys.
Yeah. We've got an office in here. We've got some guys here. Katie and Nick. Nick's my full-time videographer. Katie's my marketing genius. In here we've got the construction company. Some guys, Chris, Max, who's not here, accountants, they work in here, our boardroom table. So we've got a really nice place here with some really, really good staff. I'm based in Wolverhampton. And coming very soon to Southampton.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Very soon, actually, in a week and a day.
Yeah, 20th. Yeah.
Very cool, very cool. Okay, so I love the photos. Whenever I see photos of where you work, the big kind of grand building from the outside, it's absolutely beautiful.
Yeah. Thanks.
So did to choose it, like, was that one of the things that you were looking for when you chose it, or does it just happen to kind of
just happen to be a mansion
and also be useful?
Yeah. No, I guess it's because my properties that I buy to invest in, my book's called Buy Low, Rent High, so they tend to be not particularly beautiful houses. Yeah, that's right. So I've learned from experience to buy an investment with your formulas, not with your feelings, which normally means that the ugly houses are the ones that make the most money. So my portfolio is not a pretty portfolio. It's just a profitable one. So I wanted to, where I work and where my staff work, I wanted to be somewhere beautiful. So that's why we're here.
Cool. Okay. Awesome. Okay. So what I've had a few questions come in pre this live from some of my audience. So I thought maybe I would pose those to you right now, and also for everybody watching, make sure you comment below and ask questions. Anything like that you want to ask away. Samuel can choose whether to respond or not. But
I'll always respond.
Awesome. Okay. Super. Okay. So. I guess one of the questions that's been asked the most is actually, you've already mentioned your formula. So people keep asking me, how is it that Samuel got to be financially free by the age of 21? What exactly did he do?
Yeah, great. So there's do you want me to answer that right now?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. In order to become financially free, the first thing you need to do is you need to define what is financially free. So for me, being financially free is having enough passive income, so money that comes in every single month, whether you work, whether you sleep, whatever you do, you've got enough passive income to cover your expenses. If you've done that, you are financially free. Now, that might not be particularly hard, and you might not live a really luxurious lifestyle. I mean, when I was 21, I was financially free, but I wasn't driving, you know, Porsches and Range Rovers and things like that. I was just had enough passive income from my rents to live, and that's financially free. So how you achieve that, there's a few things. The first thing, which is quite simple, is to simplify your expenditures. So if at the moment it costs you £5,000 a month to live, the first thing is to just try and, how low could you bring that? We call that delayed gratification. The second thing is to manage your finances really well. So I could spend a whole hour talking about how to manage your finances, but learn how to manage your finances, because if you don't manage your finances will manage you. And then the third thing is just to be a passive income creating machine. So constantly asking yourself, how can I through property or through business or through whatever it is, investments, how can I create passive income? I'm well known for saying I'd rather make £1,000 a month than £100,000 today. So I think that would really be a nutshell summary of how to achieve financial freedom.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, I think I've heard from quite a few other people about trying to kind of, I think Grant Cardone calls it living like you're broke, minimizing your outgoings right now, and then obviously building up your passive income over time. Now, you and I are both in property, and so my background is family rental business, 700 properties managed. So that is a massive residual passive, well, passive-ish because they need managing, but residual income business. And you're the same in that you have properties that earn you money over time. So maybe tell our listeners, our watchers, how you went about going and building your portfolio.
Yeah, sure. So, I mean, I guess this would depend on who you are, what you're starting with. When I started, I didn't have any money. So I had no money. I also was, when I started, I was very young. I bought my first house at 18. So I couldn't even get a mortgage. So for me, I had to be really creative. So my first property deal was a no money down deal. And I bought it heavily below market value, and then I refinanced it, and I did it in my brother's name. So that was my first deal. So for me, it was about finding a property below market value, and I did that just by viewing lots of houses and putting in lots of offers. You can have a dream board and wish it all you want, but unless you actually get out there and do the work and put the offers in, it's not going to happen. So I would say, if you're wanting to get into property, the first thing would be to just start viewing houses. You know, get out there and start doing it. Don't overthink it. That'll be the first step.
Okay, brilliant. And do you think you made, when you were viewing the houses at the beginning, do you think that you were able to judge houses well, or did that just come over time? So I know a lot of people, so especially in the progressive community, I think there are something like 16,000 people in there, and I did a survey a while back, and most people in there hadn't even started. Do you and I know it's the fear of getting out there and choosing the wrong thing and wanting the most perfect house. What would your advice be to them to just go and get started and look at properties?
Great question. I mean, for me, I would always bring somebody with me when I was, not necessarily when I was first viewing it, but before I ever bought a property, I would always get a second opinion from somebody who was either a builder or a seasoned investor. But that doesn't mean you have to wait for them before you even start viewing. So go out, view loads of houses, and the ones that you find that you think this could be good, or maybe you put an offer on, then bring somebody out with you. And in fact, for me, I was like 20. I'd been doing it for about 4 years before I actually was confident to buy a house without having a second opinion. It took me 4 years. So, and really that was just a confidence thing. And I finally got to the stage where I thought, you know what? I actually don't need to bring anybody. I can do this. But I was financially free. I'd got quite a large property portfolio, but I'd always got a second opinion. So if you're nervous about actually, I would just say, just get out there. But yeah, before you complete on a property, just get a builder to go out, or get a second opinion. Bring someone who's trusted, and you'll find people will be very happy to do that for you, because human nature generally likes helping people.
Amazing. And so when you started, you've mentioned, you know, having people around you, and having read the book,
Yeah.
I know that you had a mentor, and then you also educated yourself. And I'm massive into education, hence reading books or listening to them. So did you do research on people first, or did you go to networking meetings? What did you do?
Yeah, so I went on lots of different property programs and investment seminars and all kinds of stuff. I at the time, because I was young and naive, I did spend a lot of money, which I probably didn't need to spend with people. I didn't do lots of due diligence. I just kind of went with who I thought was good. My first ever property trainer, someone that helped me, was a guy called Simon Zushi. He's really cool. He really helped me out. But I went on many different seminars. I read lots of different books. I became an absolute sponge for being a successful property investor. So I also worked for free for people. So I used to rent out people's HMO bedrooms free of charge, just to be in the game and to be getting a grips and immersing myself in property. So yeah, I really went for it. I read a lot of books, spent a lot of money on seminars, but it all pays off. They say that you can either pay for your mistakes, or you can pay someone who's already made those mistakes, and one's a lot cheaper than the other. So yeah, massive believer in education. Absolutely. I even now, in the last 18 months, I've spent £165,000 on my own education. So even, you know, you never get, you should, if you get to the point where you think I've arrived, I know it all, then you're probably about to go broke, because that never happens. Yeah,
definitely. I mean, obviously I'm in the same kind of mindset as you about educating, and for those watching that don't know, Samuel and I are part of the same mastermind group run by a guy called Nick James, who is awesome. And Nick's kind of brought some amazing people over to the UK, like Gary Vaynerchuk. He's bringing Cardone over. He had Lord Sugar speaking. And I think being around other people who have the right mindset, who have the growth mindset, is just amazing. And I spend a shit ton of money on education as well. And listen to an awful lot of stuff.
There's just been a couple of comments. Darren commented saying £165,000? Question mark, question mark, question mark, question mark. Yeah, 165,000. That is correct. And that's been a combination of mentoring, masterminds, training programs, consultations for me and my staff, because I have mentors come and train my staff. So that's in total. And then Mark said, how would you start today in property? How would I start today, Mark? In summary, I would say firstly, believe that you can do this, because a lot of people that start out in property, they've got very limiting beliefs. So believe, learn, and implement. That's it. Believe, learn, implement. Believe you can. Go out, learn what you need to do, and then actually do it and implement it. And then another guy's just come on. How beneficial did you find going on the TV? Has it changed you? Approach on anything? Tim Snowden, thanks for that question. How did it benefit me? Was that the question? How beneficial was it? Yeah, it was great. Yeah. I'll tell you the truth. The reason I went on the TV was because I have a secret desire to one day star in a movie. That's true story. I really want to star in a movie. And I just thought, when they approached me, I didn't approach them. When they approached me and said, can we like film you and everything, I just thought it'd be fun to be on a TV show. And I'm financially free. I've got a lot of time. So I figured, yes, I did. I said, as long as I can do it with my wife. So we did it together. How beneficial was it? It was great. Really enjoyed it. I learned a lot about camera stuff and TV production. I also did learn a little bit about myself. I believe I'm a better landlord as a result of it. We've put systems in place to keep an eye on tenants and stuff. So yeah, it was really valuable.
Amazing. I actually had a few people that I know who know that I'm in property say, oh my God, have you seen the people that are on this program? And I know you, and I know Paul as well. And I said that actually, like, obviously it's a TV program. You have to take it with a pinch of salt. But it is, you know, it is what it is. It gaps, like, the exposure was amazing.
Yeah, I mean, you know, absolutely. I got a lot of bad publicity from it. Not bad publicity. I got a lot of negative comments from it. But I also entertained, and a lot of people enjoyed it, and some people were inspired by it. I always say, for every one hater, you've helped 100. So the more you put yourself out there, the more you put your head above the parapet, the more people are going to come and try and knock it off and try and put you down. But for me, that's never a reason to stop putting myself out there, because if I didn't put myself out there, I wouldn't have. Last year in 2017, I've helped 26 people become financially free. This year, I'm going to do 50. So that's quite a big deal. But I wouldn't have done that and be able to achieve that and help those people if I wasn't prepared to put myself out there and get a little bit of hate sometimes. So everyone hater, you've helped 100.
That's amazing advice, because I personally really struggle with haters. I hate negative comments. It actually makes me really upset. So it's something I'm having to learn to deal with.
You know what? There was a whole thread after I did the TV show. There was a whole big thing online about my wife's hair. There was a massive thread about it. Some people are really ridiculous, but I really don't care. I just you know, what people think of me is none of my business. So I don't care.
Definitely something to live by.
Yeah.
Okay, so another question that I had, and I will remember his name in a moment, but another question I had was, and it's something I read in your book, that when you first got into property, you're part of a church, and your Christian faith is obviously very, very important to you. And I imagine that's probably one of the things that keeps you going when you get haters and trolls. You know that you're doing something with a higher purpose. The question that was put to me was, how did you cope with being kind of, your first church that you were in? They obviously didn't feel the same alignment with wealth and helping people through wealth. Yeah. How did you deal with that, from being like kind of left behind, or actually you leaving behind your first church?
Yeah, well, I actually got removed pretty to put it pretty bluntly from my first church, which was a really hard time for me, and was really difficult, because they were my spiritual family, and I almost saw the pastor of the church as like a father figure. So kind of getting pushed out of that was really, really tough. I questioned myself. I questioned have they seen something in me? Is there something wrong with me? And it was really, really tough. And I spent 3 years thereafter at Bible college doing a dissertation on biblical economics, and I studied. Because I thought I was put into a position where I thought I have to choose here. I have to choose business and entrepreneurship, or being a good person and being a good Christian. I've got to choose. Let me just get rid of that phone. 1 second. One of my staff members' phone ringing. Oh, 1 second. Sorry, folks.
Right.
All right.
So whilst
I really felt.
Oh no, he's back.
Yeah. I really felt like I had to choose between the two, and I chose to be this. I just thought, I'm going to put business on the side. So 21 years old, I decided to quit my property business and to stop it and put it all on the side. I wasn't going to sell my houses, but I thought, I'm not buying anymore. I'm not going to push my business. I'm going to go to Bible college. I studied this in Bible college, and I came to the conclusion after doing my dissertation in biblical economics that money is not good or bad. And you can be a really good person and a good Christian person as well, and make a lot of money. And the key is to hold everything you have, your business, your money, your finance, your wealth, your position, hold it like this with open hands and a generous heart. God bless you. You start holding anything like this, tight mine, then that's when there's a problem, because when sometimes God opens your fingers, it hurts. So and money, it's not about it's not what you've got, it's what's got you. So when I came to this conclusion, I absolutely exploded my property business, set up a charity in Africa, which are always deep in my heart. So now, we've got people out right now as we speak. My mom is one of the team. We've got people now in Uganda building water wells in rural parts of Africa where there's no drinking water. We're in the process of looking at buying some land to build an orphanage and a school. And 10% of the profits from my business goes into, we pump into charity that we've set up. So people now that tell me, oh, you're money-minded, I thought you were a Christian, I'm just like, thanks for sharing, because I know that some of the best schools and orphanages and has been set up by entrepreneurs with big hearts. So that's kind of what I see myself as. And with that same mentality of holding things loosely, that's why I wrote my book and I do my crash courses in property, because I think if you hold information, you know, oh, I'm successful, I've become financially free, people start asking you, how did you do that? Mine. You know, then there's a problem with your heart. So I hold everything, my money, my information, my knowledge, my time, everything now with open hands, a generous heart. But at the same time, I do make a lot of money. I do drive nice cars. I do live in a nice house. But I like to think that I do give back at the same time.
That's absolutely
and that
amazing.
came as a result of being kicked out of my church. So
wow.
Everything happens for a reason, you know. At the time it was painful, but yeah, that I guess if it wasn't for that, then maybe I wouldn't have had to think about it and challenge myself so hard and come up with some of these conclusions.
Brilliant. I can see from some of the comments that what you've said is really resonating with people about using your wealth to help others. And I try and give away as much as I possibly can, like everything I know. I'll do videos. I'll teach people how to do stuff. I have realised over time that people value stuff they pay for and not stuff that they get for free.
Yeah, totally. Oh, I'm not saying you should not charge people, you know, for your services. I mean, some of my information I give out about property and stuff, some of it's free, some of it's paid for. It just depends on how advanced and stuff it is. So no, that's also very true.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, how long have I got you for before I ask a couple more questions? Are you good for time?
You've got me for however long you like. You've got me for however until my battery dies. And I think I'm on 20%, so I'm good.
Top tip: have a plug socket nearby.
I know,
okay.
Totally.
So earlier, Mark Evans asked about lease options. Now, for everybody watching, this is a slightly, I guess, technical property question, but that's probably why you're here, is to learn about property things. So I found in your book, you give one of the best explanations of lease options and actually how to go and get them. So could you explain to everybody watching how you approach doing lease options with people? Because everybody talks about getting into property without having to buy property, without having to have loads of cash. Loads of people want to get in that have got bad credit, they haven't got massive deposits. Lease options are definitely a way to do it. So could you just give a quick overview of how you'd go about doing that?
Sure. So first, let me just very, very quickly summarize what a lease option agreement is for anyone that doesn't know. So a lease option agreement is a buy now, pay later structure for buying a house. Now, for most things in life, when you buy now, pay later, it's bad because you're buying a liability. So if you buy a car, buy it now, but you pay for it later, what's going to happen is when you end up having to pay for it later, the car will have shrunk in value and you'll end up being like, oh man, I've got this debt to pay. It becomes a debt. It's a problem. Whereas when you're buying a house, if you buy it now, but you pay for it later, well, in the meantime, so say you agree to buy it now, but you pay for it in 5 years' time, in that 5 years, you're going to benefit from all the appreciation and you're going to benefit from all the rent, which gives you time to save up for the house. So it's a way that you can get into property without using any money, without having a mortgage, and it's fantastic. So that summarizes what a lease option agreement is. Next question is, how do you find properties that you can buy as a lease option agreement? The key is to find property sellers that are selling their property, but they don't need or can't get the money now. I'll say that one more time and then I'll give you an example. So you need to find someone selling their property whereby they don't need or can't get the money now. An example of that would be someone that doesn't need the money now would be maybe someone who's inherited a property, their parents have passed away, they're really busy, they've now got this property, boom, they don't know what to do with it, and they're like, oh, they're really busy, and you come along and say, well, look, I'll buy it off you in 5 years' time for this price, but in the meantime, I'll rent it out and I'll become the landlord. And for them, that could be really ideal. An example of someone that can't get the money now would be someone that has a property and they bought it 10 years ago and now the price has dipped and they've got no equity in it. And in fact, it's in negative equity. So the house might be £70,000, but the mortgage is £75,000. So they're really stuck and they're struggling to sell it. And you say, I'll buy it, I'll become the landlord, but I'll buy it in 5 years' time. Let's give the market a chance to recover. So that is how you would find somebody to take on a lease option agreement, someone that can't get or doesn't need the money now. You would benefit from that because you'd benefit from all the rent and the capital appreciation from it in the time period. And I mean, me and my team are doing loads of lease option agreements and making loads of money doing it. And we're helping people throughout the process.
Yeah, I
so
think
yes,
that's really
Mark's question. Are lease option agreements a good way to get started? Absolutely yes. But what I would say personally is lease option agreements should be something that you know about, you can do. But I would probably suggest just having it as a strategy up your sleeve, rather than saying, I'm going to find a lease option agreement. Say, no, don't say that. Say, I'm going to view some houses and I'm going to speak to some motivated sellers and I'm going to offer them solutions. That could be below market value. It could be a straight sale. It could be an assisted sale. It could be a lease option agreement. It could be a case of you package it and pass it on. We did 136 of those deals just last year. So learn, have the strategies up your sleeve, and then just go out and start viewing houses.
That's amazing, and actually a really, really good description of lease options for people that don't know, or every time they ask in communities about lease options, everyone sounds like they're an expert, but actually they're not out there doing it.
No, they're not. They're
you
not
are.
difficult. No, they're not difficult. They're really straightforward.
Yeah.
And the difficult bit, which is drawing up the contract, answering all the complicated questions, what if you die, what if I die, what if this happens, you don't do that anyway. You just have a solicitor do that for you. So it's from an investor's point of view, finding and packaging lease option agreements up and securing is not difficult, but very profitable and doesn't involve any money apart from maybe the solicitor fee or whatever. But it's brilliant. And some of my lease option agreements, I've made over the last 5 years, just off one deal alone, I've made I think off one deal, the very first lease option agreement I ever did, which was back in 2011, 2010 maybe. Anyway, my very first one, I've made just over £65,000 on that deal. First one. So, and that's just one. So, it's and that's in rent and appreciation. Yeah,
that's really, really powerful. And it sounds like it's the kind of thing that actually you need in your arsenal of strategies always, because at some point everyone runs out of money. No matter how much you have, you're not going to be able to keep on spending.
True. That's so true. One of my programs is called Never Use Your Own Money Again. And on that, because there's lots of strategies, there's lease option agreements, there's rent to rent, there's joint ventures, there's raising finance, there's buying and refinancing, there's sourcing for other people. There's so many ways that you can make money as a property, not even as a property investor, as a property entrepreneur, without starting with any money. And when sometimes people say, oh, you make it sound so simple. Oh, it's that's just a pipe dream. Speak to my students. You know what I mean? We've got Paul Waters on the call right now. Ask him. It is so doable. It's just a case of, that's why I said the first thing is believe you can. Second thing is learn. Third thing is implement.
Yeah. There's actually a question a little bit back from Prince, and he said, how would you how would you get started now in property without any knowledge? And you've just touched on it there, that the first thing to do is have belief. Second thing, go and get yourself educated. And clearly you've got yourself educated, and now you're educating others.
And you don't need a load of money. Just read the books, speak to the people, go to property networking events like the one that Sam runs in Southampton. I have something called the coffee trick, which is find someone who's doing something successful and just ask them if you can buy them a coffee. It probably won't work on me. I'm too busy, but that's why I run I wrote my book and I run the events. But just get around people, work for free, like I did when I was renting out people's rooms. So
Yeah, I think not enough people are willing to do that, are all willing to use their own time or do things for free because they expect everything to happen right now, and it doesn't. It does take time. Yeah,
that's true. It does take time.
Yeah.
You should at least have a 12-month plan, not a 12-minute plan. Yeah.
Yep, definitely. I have to admit that I'm terrible for having patience. I have none. I want everything right now. But we live and learn.
It's one of the traits of most successful entrepreneurs, impatience.
And I keep going, oh my God, this new thing, that's amazing. I want to go do that. Especially being around people like you and other people like Gordon as well in our mastermind. I see people doing such fantastic things, and I think I want to be there right now. And, you have to just have some patience and wait it out and keep going, persevering when it's hard. And I think you've touched on having...
a new one.
having a really strong why is the thing that keeps you going. And for you, your faith, your family, you know, especially having Ruby now, those are the things that keep you going when times get tough.
Yeah.
Okay.
Totally.
So I think I've answered all the questions that people have asked while we're watching. I'm having a quick scroll through now. So I'll just read out some people that are watching with us. We've got Daria, Tim, Gaurav. Apologies if I say anyone's name wrong. Please feel free to send me a voice note and correct me. I've got Matt. Hello, Matt. Hello, Anna. Daniel. You know what? We've got some people here from so many different groups. People part of the progressive community, part of the PIN community. It's funny you mentioned Simon. He sent me a friend request the other day.
Oh, no, he's a good guy.
Paul Waters is obviously one of your mentees. Why don't you tell us a
Paul Waters is crushing it.
Why don't you tell us quickly about your event? So you run a training program and a mentor program. So just tell me about that.
Sure. So I run a program called the Property Investors Crash Course, and the reason I initially did that, I think the first one was November 2000 and was it 13 or 14? Anyway, maybe 3. Yeah, I can't remember. A few years ago, and the reason I ran it was to get people off my back, because people kept asking me loads of questions about property, and I decided, like same with you, Sam, people keep asking you questions about Facebook, so you just set up a little membership thing. So for me, it was just like, you know what? Every time people ask me, I'm just going to tell them, in 6 months' time, I'm spending a full day explaining everything I know about property at this venue at this time. It's £250. If you're interested, you can book on. And I didn't promote it. I didn't publish it online. All I did was when people used to inbox me or email me, I just sent them a link on Eventbrite. That was that.
Wow.
I ran the event. It was November 2014. And it was such a popular event and so many people turned up and I was like, oh, brilliant. But then it backfired on me, true story, because what happened was I then got bombarded with messages the following few weeks saying, when's the next one? You know, so I was like, okay, I'm probably going to have to do it. So that was kind of how it organically started. Right now, today, we've got 2 crash courses this month. We've got 2 next month. We've got 2 the following month. And all 6 of them have completely sold out. We've got 1,200 people booked on, sold out. So that is the Property Investors Crash Course. They're amazing. You'll struggle to get yourself booked on one. But if you do want to go to the website and keep an eye on the website, it's property-investors.co.uk.
I will put a link
property-investors.co.uk.
in the comments.
Yeah, cool. So that's the crash courses. On top of that, I also run a very elite mentorship and partnership and mastermind program, which is called the Property Investors Academy. That is something where we just literally handpick people who we think are amazing. So if somebody comes on the crash course and smashes it, I might say, do you want to join the academy? So that's something that's very exclusive. Again, I don't really promote that because it's we only have a very small few academy members. So that's the academy. And other than that, I have my book, and my book's pretty cool. To be honest, if you just read the book, you can probably start getting some tangible results just off the back of the book. Is that fair to say, Sam?
Yeah, no, definitely. So I read or listened to, actually, because I'm a massive Audible fan. I listened to the book over the weekend in preparation for this and seeing you, but also it's just one that's been on my list for a while, and I've finally said, you know what, I'm going to read it right now. And actually, it's not massively thick, so which is a good thing, because everything in it is really to the point, and they're all things that you can actually take away and take action on. So, for example, I'm going to flick to page 97. This is the one I prepared earlier. And you said, you talk about where people ask questions about lease options, and you actually talk about the thing that you should say to them, which is, you're probably going to have loads of questions, but have some time to think about it. You need to speak to your lawyer, your solicitor. If you don't have someone here, someone who knows all about it. And actually, that is amazing, because so many people want to answer all the questions. And that's the thing that I think people get stuck on, is they start answering questions when they don't really know what they're doing. So your book has given me, and I've struggled with not answering questions. It's given me exact steps of do this, say this, don't do this. It's perfect.
Yeah. Thanks, Sam. Appreciate that. Louise just asked if it's on Audible. Yes, it is on Audible. Yeah.
I'll post links for that below as well. Do not fear. Do not fear.
Oh, very good of you.
Okay, so I guess a final question to wrap up. So you have done me the great honour of saying yes that you will come and speak at my next event, which is Tuesday the 20th of February, so 11 days time from today if you're watching today. And it's in the evening and it's near Southampton, which is quite far from you, so thank you for agreeing to travel all that way. So give me, I guess, just a couple of quick lines about why people should come and hear you live in the flesh and come along to our meeting.
Great. The reason you should come is because whether you're in property now or whether you're not, at the moment there's a lot of changes going on in the economy, which is really, really affecting property investors across the UK. So I'm going to be explaining whether now is a good time to invest in property, what those changes are, and I'm also going to be giving my predictions over what's going to be happening over the next few years within property and how you can benefit from that and adjust your strategy to make as much money as possible. I'm also going to be teaching about HMOs, where they work, where they don't. I might, if I get time, talk a little bit about lease option agreements. But one of the most important reasons you should be there is because when I train and speak, like I will be in Southampton, I think is it about an hour that I've got, I imagine.
Yeah.
I literally am happy to be heckled. So if you want to come and bring questions, if you've read my book and you disagree with aspects to it, you know, bring it on. Bring your questions, bring your problems, bring your doubts. And it's going to be like, although I'm going to be speaking for the hour, it's also, I'm going to be like standing on a hot seat where you can fire questions and stuff at me. So it's going to be a little bit different to what you'd usually typically get. Also, obviously, Sam's going to be there, and Sam's boozing, uzzling personality and joy is just going to be fabulous. So me, Samantha, everyone there, it's just going to be packed, it's going to be fun, and you're going to learn loads. So I would just say, don't even think about it. Just book on and tell me afterwards that you weren't glad you did.
That sounds amazing. Thank you. And of course, I should put the link to where you can book below. And guys, if you haven't been to my PPM before, then you can come for free, because I am all about people learning and just getting the opportunity to have that one thing that sparks the process in your mind to actually go and do the things that you are so capable of doing. So if you haven't been before and you live anywhere travelable to Southampton, which if you're in the UK you can get here, then book on and send me a message, and if you haven't been before you can come for free. If you bring a friend you can also come for free, and I might do a little offer that if you buy Sam's book and you send me a screenshot of the receipt, then I will let you come for free. So I want everybody who can possibly get there to come along to meet Samuel, because he is so lovely, like literally one of the loveliest people I have come across in property. And dare I say that sometimes in property there are some people who are sharkish, and you're not one of them. You're so lovely. So I'm really glad.
Thank you so much for saying that. Someone commented saying something like, ask Samuel why he sold his HMOs last year or something like that. So I'm not quite sure what that person's referring to. However, you know, I never sold one of my own HMOs last year, so I'm not quite sure on the question. But if you want to come and bring that to Southampton, you know, then come down, and if you know, ask me absolutely anything. But I think there was some forum about me where people were saying stuff which I didn't even bother defending myself because I haven't got time. However, come to Southampton and ask me publicly. I would love to have a chat with you.
Sounds amazing. Sounds amazing. Okay, well, thank you so much for your time. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you, everybody who has watched, participated. Give us some likes, give us some love. I can't go all the way across the screen because Sam's in the way. But thank you so much. Oh, lovely. For watching. And if you want to see Samuel live in the flesh, then you can come on down to PPN Southampton on Tuesday, the 20th of February. I will put a link in below. I will make it so you can come for free. You just have to do one of three things: either come for the first time, bring a friend, or buy Samuel's book. So thank you so much, everybody, and we shall see you again soon. Thank you.
God bless.
Bye.